Hello Year 2 and welcome to your phonics session today. Today we are going to be learning about apostrophes for contraction. You will need a sheet of paper and a pencil or a pen for today's session, so please make sure you pause the video now and go and collect these things if you don't have them already. Great job, let's get started. So we're going to start off with a little bit of a warm-up for our brains, and we are going to remind ourselves of how we can use apostrophes to show possession. So here I've got a picture of Mike, and I've also got in the picture his dog. Okay, so what I would like for you to do is write any sentence you like about Mike's dog, and you'll need to include the phrase Mike's dog. Think really carefully about where you're going to use an apostrophe to show me that the dog belongs to Mike. Okay, so any sentence you like, it can be describing the dog, it can be talking about something that Mike's dog has done, it's totally up to you. So please pause the video now and have a go writing a sentence using the phrase Mike's dog. Super, okay, so I'm sure you've got some great ideas there. Have a look at a couple of sentences that you could have chosen. So you could have written, Mike's fluffy brown dog ran away. And the important thing is that you've got an apostrophe in Mike's to show that the dog belongs to him. Now I've chosen to add in here some adjectives to create an expanded noun phrase, but if you just had Mike's dog, that would still be correct, okay? But it's the apostrophe between Mike and the S to show that the dog belongs to him. Another sentence that you could have chosen might have been something like, I played with Mike's adorable dog at the park. And again, you can see that I've chosen to use Mike's name, I've done an apostrophe, and then I've written the letter S. Okay, so as long as you've got that Mike's dog bit, then I'm sure you'll have a fabulous sentence showing me that the dog belongs to Mike. Remember, you can send them in to myself, to Mrs. Johnson, to Mrs. Biggs. We'd all really, really love to see them. Okay, super. So we've got nice warmed up brains now and we are ready to move on. Okay, so we talked about using an apostrophe to show that something belongs to somebody, just like with Mike's dog. But we can also use an apostrophe to make two words into one word that's a shortened form, and we call this a contraction, okay, or a contracted form. So here I've got two words. I've got he will, okay, and I could use those in sentences. I could say he will eat his lunch, or I could write Mum said he will be home at 3 o'clock. Now, I could take he will, and I could turn this into a shortened, a contracted form by changing it a little bit and by using an apostrophe. Okay, so he will becomes he'll. Okay, and you can see a bit of a link here, can't you? You can see that I've got he, and at the end of will, I've got this double L, and I've got a double L here, and you'll notice that apostrophe in the word. So I could use this in exactly the same way as I've used he will in my sentences before. So instead of he will eat his lunch, he'll eat his lunch. Mum said he will be home at 3 o'clock. Mum said he'll be home at 3 o'clock. Fantastic, guys. So let's have a look at how we got from he will to he'll. So we started off with he will, two separate words, he will, okay? And then what we did is we got rid of this part here, this WI, okay? Because we're going to make it shorter, we're going to be taking a little part of one of the words away, okay? So then we were just left with he, all, okay? And then what we've done is we've put an apostrophe in to show where we've taken away something from the words. So now we've got he'll, okay? So he will becomes he'll. So let's have a look then. If I had she will, and I could use that in some sentences, she will play with her friends, or I think she will like her Christmas present. What do you think the contracted form of she will be? Remember, he will became he'll. What do you think she will become? Excellent, guys. So she will becomes she'll. And you can see that it's very, very similar. We've got she, just like we had he before. We've got the double L from the end of will, and we've got the double L there. And then we've added in the apostrophe to show that we've taken some of those letters away. So before we had she will play with her friends. Now we have she'll play with her friends. Oh, there we go. Before we had I think she will like her Christmas presents. Now we've got I think she'll like her Christmas presents. So it means the same thing, but it's just a shortened, contracted form of writing that, okay? And it's something that we would normally write when we're being less formal, okay, which kind of means a bit less fancy. So if you were writing a letter to the Queen, we probably wouldn't use contracted forms. We wouldn't put words in like she'll, we would write she will, because the Queen's quite fancy, isn't she? But perhaps if you were writing a note to your friend in class, then you might choose to use a contracted form. So let's have a look at how that happened. Exactly the same as when we were working with he will. We started off with she will. Then we got rid of that WI. We're making it shorter, so we've taken part of that word out, which means we've ended up with she'll. And we need to pop in an apostrophe to show where we've taken something out, okay? So we've got she'll as one word. Great job. Okay, so just to recap, in a contracted word, the apostrophe is put in the place of something that we have taken out. Now, I was doing a little bit of research on this. Apostrophes for contraction have been found in writing as far back as the 17th century, which means that contracted forms of words, so where we've made the word shorter, have actually been found in writing over 400 years ago, which I just thought was really interesting, so I thought I'd have to share it with you guys. Okay, so let's see if you can predict what the contracted form of these words will be. So we've got we will. What do you think will be the shortened form of that? We will. Wheel. Super. Very much the same as he will and she will. Okay. Now we know that pattern, don't we? So what do we think will happen when we have it will and we contract it? It will becomes it'll. Well done. It'll be fine might be a sentence that we would use. Okay, now these are ones that we've not had a look at yet, but I'm sure that we can figure them out. So what do you think he is will become? He's. Fantastic. He is becomes he's. And you can see we just got rid of that I and we popped in an apostrophe, brought it all together, and now we've got he's. Okay, we've worked out he is. So what will happen to she is? She's. Fantastic. Exactly the same as he is. Okay, we've got rid of that I letter. We've popped an apostrophe in and we've brought it all together. Okay, what about we are? What do you think will happen to we are? We're. Fantastic. Okay, so we got rid of that letter A. We popped an apostrophe in. We pushed it all together and we made a shorter version of we are, we're. So you could say we are going to the park, or you could say we're going to the park. Okay, let's have a look at this one then. We've learnt what would happen when we have we are. What would happen when we have they are? What would that become? They are becomes their. Fantastic. Now, you've learnt already about the 3 different spellings of their, and this links very much back to that because we know that there's 3 different ways of writing there. This version is that shorter version of they are. So we already know that that's going to look like this. There, where we've gotten rid of that A, we've popped in an apostrophe and we've brought the word together to make there, they are. So it means exactly the same thing as they are there. Super. Let's have a look at a few more. Should have. Should have. Well done, guys. So we got rid of 2 letters this time. And we popped an apostrophe in. And we brought it all together to make should have. Should have becomes should have. You should have eaten your fruit. You should have eaten your fruit. Okay, so if we know what would happen to should have, what do you think would happen to would have and could have? I would like for you to have a go at writing these. Think carefully, follow the rule that you can see. Have a go at writing would have as the contracted form and could have as the contracted form. Please pause the video now and have a go. Excellent. So let's have a look at how you've got on. So would have becomes would have. We've done exactly the same thing as we did for should have. We've taken away, gotten rid of the HA. We've popped an apostrophe in. We've squished it all together. That was a rather large apostrophe that I've just done. I hope that yours are perhaps a little bit smaller. Let's have a look at what would happen to could have then. It becomes could have. So we did the same thing. We got rid of the HA. We popped in an apostrophe and we brought it all together to make the contracted form of the word. Excellent job, well done. Okay, so your challenge today is to use 5 of the words that we have contracted in sentences. So I've popped all of the words down here for you at the bottom just to remind you because there's so many of them. And I would like you to use at least 5 of them to write some super sentences. Okay, good luck with your challenge. Please remember to send them in to myself, to Mrs. Biggs and Mrs. Johnson. We would really, really love to see them. Make sure you think really carefully about your handwriting and your spelling and your punctuation, all those things that you always think about when you're writing. Good luck with your challenge and I will speak to you soon. Bye.